Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today. I'm Tim. We have the engine out here again. We're going to be working on it a little bit more. One thing that I haven't been able to do yet is pull the oil pump off. So as you can see, I have an oil pump still sitting here hanging down from the bottom of the engine. The book that I have says that it's supposed to just kind of slide off, but when I was looking deeper into the book, that was for an earlier model flathead Ford, and it's not the same setup that is back here. So back here what you have is two gears that this is the bigger gear, and we need to get this part off. There's a gear inside of there, kind of tucked behind the corner, and let me see if I can shine a light on that and get you guys to see it. There is that gear right there that's meshing into it. So what we need to do is get the bigger gear off, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a custom puller just for something like this. So to make this puller, it's not going to really be that much involved into it. I've got this piece of flat stock steel, and I have two bolts that I'm going to be using and a bolt that will actually thread into that hole. The other two bolts are to support on the side, and you need a tap and die set so you can create some holes with that. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be making 3 separate holes on our piece of steel. What we're going to be having is one support right here, one further down, and then we'll have to drill a bigger hole for a bolt to fit through to actually screw into that clamp. So what I need to do is go ahead and try to get as center as possible, and also centered up on the 2 ridges or the seal areas. So it looks like I'm 1.5 inches center to center right there, and 3 inches overall from end to end. So I've got my piece laid out here, and what I'm going to do is make a mark at the 1 inch. That's where my first hole is going to go. So now I need to go 3 inches from that, and that will be at the 4-inch mark. And then I'll do another inch after that for the overall width of the piece. So from between the 1 and the 4, we need to find the center point, and that's going to be the 1 or the 2.5. And that's where my other hole is going to be going. So now I'll need to figure out what my halfway point is between these. That's 1.5 inch wide piece. So we gotta do 3/4, and we'll just line these up. So I just went ahead and got it kind of cleaned up a little bit, trying to get some of those burrs off of there and take off any kind of weird sharp edges that are on here. So now we got to go ahead and tap these 2 holes. So first things first is we got the, I'm trying out this tap set from Harbor Freight. I'm going to see how well this goes. The taps seem fine. The dies, the little piece that does the die, it seems a little bit weak. So we'll see how well this matches up. It's supposed to be a new product from Harbor Freight. So I decided that I would try it out and see what this does. So this is our main piece. This is pretty much the puller. We're going to go ahead and get this put over on the engine block. So here is pretty much my puller setup. I have my 2 bolts in on the end, and then I have that 1 bolt with a bunch of little washers on it for spacers. And I'll just put this through, and I've got too many washers on there right now. So I want this to kind of grab into that gear, and let's just try it with no washers, or we gotta have 1. So we'll try that, and if you guys can see that that bolt in the middle just barely sticks out far enough. So we'll go ahead and put it through here, and we'll thread that center bolt in. And now we can get you guys a better look at it so you guys can see what's going on. So you have your the silver bolts are on the outside of the frame where the gear is. We have that main bolt in the middle, and what I'll do is I'll tighten up the main bolt, and it should pull that right out. So we're going to go ahead and work on that and see if that will come out on this. Actually bending my piece of metal in. Alright, so after the metal started bending in, it also bent the bolts. So this gear that's in here is pretty well stuck. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less for a really old motor like this. Who knows if it's ever been rebuilt? Probably about 50 years or 70 years old. So we've got some heat going on here right now, trying to see if we can break this loose. I got the homemade puller back on it, and we'll go ahead and just tighten it every once in a while. I sprayed it with some PB Blast, trying to let that soak in. Alright, so I started finally getting this to come out of the hole. And it's taken a combination of a few different things. One, lots and lots of heat. I've had the propane hitting it on the inside of the where the shaft is, and then I've actually had to use a drift to help break it loose. So the way the puller is working is it's keeping a lot of the tension on the little shaft, and as I'm hitting it, it's able to release that tension, and that is what is breaking it loose. So right there is the puller, and then I'm able to come inside with this drift on the shaft. And pop it loose, and then I can come back and put more tension on it. And this thing was really stuck. and it's bent the puller all up. But the way the puller works is it was working correct. Now it's just spinning in there in the hole. It may be bottomed out. So it's working correct. It's putting all the tension on there, except this thing was just so stuck that there was no way it was just going to be coming off. And this has been a battle for a little bit now. It's been about a week since I've been able to work on this. And it's really been... I tried to get it out a couple different times, not through the week, but before, during the teardown, and it just wasn't happening. But now it looks like it's finally starting to come out. And the nice thing about making your pullers is that now I can just go ahead and keep it, put it in a drawer, and after I straighten it out, obviously. So I'm gonna finish trying to get this out the rest of the way. I've added the washers and it's taken up a lot of room. So now that shaft is just coming out on its own. I don't have to have that drift. And it's not bending the puller anymore. But I feel like I'm going to end up running out of space before it comes all the way out, because of when it did bend that shaft. There we go. Never mind, not going to run out of room. Here it is. This is what I was trying to get out the whole entire time. So now, in theory, this oil pump should come out. Let's see if it will. What do I need to do? Maybe a small pry bar on this. So while prying on the top of the oil pump, the top broke off. So now what we're left with is the main oil pump shaft and the rest of the body that is down in the block that we gotta try to figure out how the heck to get out. I may be taking off the whole block off the engine stand, tilting it on its end, and then using a punch or something trying to drive the little gear on the bottom out. But this is not an ideal situation right now. Not happy about this one bit. This oil pump has not been good at all the entire time. Well, that's it. The engine is completely apart now. Finally. So look at all that sludge. That's probably what was holding it all in. And probably what caused me to accidentally break the oil pump, which it was going to come out somehow. And unfortunately it did break it, and there's no repairing it. But it's out now. And now we can go on and move on to the next stuff, finally, and get it cleaned. So this was a good little task. It had been bothering me for about a week, trying to figure out how in the world to get this off. coming up with some Facebook groups and stuff like that, we ended up making the puller, and as you can see that it was so stuck that it bent the puller. But this is a good option if you guys have gears for small engines, big engines, all sorts of things. This is a very simple process to do and very easy to make. You drill 3 holes, the center one being what you would pull into, and I can take this and go ahead and flatten it back out. I gotta get new bolts because the other one's bent. But fortunately I broke the oil pump, but it happened, and we'll just have to get a new one of those. But it's all done. Everything is disassembled now. Took a lot of heat again. Today was a day of lots of heat and some PB blast, just soaking it and then heating it up, hitting it. And then finally what did the trick was using a pry bar and a hammer and just beating the bottom gear up from the bottom, and that is what ended up getting the pump body to actually come out of the engine block. Thanks guys for watching today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys got something out of it with making your own little gear puller. It's a very simple process. It took about 10 minutes to make, and used the Harbor Freight tap and die set for the first time. Not bad. I was pretty happy with how it did. The actual tap part feels pretty strong. I want to try to use the die part on a different day. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up button. Like always, thank you guys for watching. More videos to come out about the flathead. We gotta get it cleaned, get it to the engine shop, get it checked, paint, all that kind of good stuff, then rebuild it. So thanks guys for watching. Post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.